This is Slow Show 9 here, welcome. And today we're going to go and talk about a certain dedicated console that's going to release on December the 3rd, 2018. And that is the PlayStation 1 Classic. The PlayStation 1 Classic is a classic system of the original PS1, just like the Nintendo Entertainment System was, as well as the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Also the Sega Genesis, the Neo Geo, and a few others. I'm going to talk about the system. I'm going to talk about all the games that's on it. So the system is about 45% smaller. It features 2 controller ports for PS1 controllers. Now, these are not analog. There is no analog on the system. So the first game that's already come to mind that's going to be out of here is going to be Ape Escape. Automatic. It's going to be out. It has virtual memory cards up on it, so you won't have to use no memory cards. And it has virtual discs where you open the lid and close it to change the disc out. That's it. There is no discs that can be played, nothing. I heard there's USB ports, but I'm not sure. When the console comes out, I'll definitely check that out. There's an HDMI port on it. There's also a plug for an AC adapter, which does not come with the system. You have to buy that separately. It's $100 for the system, and I'm going to go through all 20 games. First one is Battle Arena Toshiden. I've never played this game, and it was a launch title for the system. All I've heard and read that it's got really good reviews up on it. That's as far as I know, and it's a 3D weapon-based fighting game. That's all that I know. Final Fantasy VII. There's nothing that needs to be said about Final Fantasy VII. Intelligent Cube. I've never played it. I heard it got really good reviews because it's a great puzzle game. Metal Gear Solid. What can you say about Metal Gear Solid? It's such a great game. Tekken 3 as well. It's a really great game. Jumping Flash, I've never played, but I've heard it got really great reviews. Mr. Driller. An arcade puzzle game. I've never played it. R4 Ridge Racer Type 4. I have played this before. I absolutely like this. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Now, Resident Evil Director's Cut can use analog. However, we need to find out which version of it is, because there's different versions of it, and we need to know which one is it going to be. Is it going to be the one where it's actually going to have analog support or anything? So we need to know. Revelations Persona. I've never played a Persona game ever, but I've heard this game has really good reviews. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Now, this game is amazing. One of the best fighting games that's probably in this list. Pretty good. Wild Arms, it's a great RPG. Cool Borders 2, I've never played any of the Cool Borders games, but as far as I know, they will never be as good as SSX, I can tell you that. Destruction Derby, I've played that before, that's a great game. Grand Theft Auto, that's another great game. Oddworld's Ape Odyssey, I have never played this game, ever. I heard it's extremely difficult, and it's an amazing game. Rayman, it was also a launch title for the PS1. I've played it, it is highly difficult, but it's a great game. Siphon Filter, I've played this game too. Great game. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I've never played this, but I've heard it got really good reviews. And Twisted Metal, which is also another great game, which I have played. Now, Japanese has some exclusives to it. And most of the Japanese exclusives are nothing but RPGs. So they have all the common games that are unique to it, and then they have RPGs. So they have all the common games and then RPGs. They have Arc the Lad 2, which is RPGs. Armored Core, which is a shooting game. G Darius, which is also another shooting game. Gradius Guider, which is also another shooting game. Parasite Eve is an RPG. XI, which is also an RPG. And Seijia Frontier is also an RPG. And some of those RPGs on the exclusives are by Square Enix. I can't even say it correctly for some reason today. It's by Square Enix. Is this system really worth it? If you were in Japan, I'd say yes. But in North America, I really can't tell you anything. I mean, it's your choice. But you could also go out and get a PS3. For example, you could go out to GameStop and pick up a 80 gig PlayStation 3 for $100 or 120 gig for $120. You know, dude, literally. That's $1 per gig. That's amazing. You don't find that too often. But those also have PS1 games. And out of all the North American PS1 games, 16 of those games are on the PSN. There are 4 of those games that are not on there. And I can tell you all 4 of them that are not on there because I had to look at that list 3 to 4 times to really look at it. Grand Theft Auto is not on there. Persona is not on there. Street Fighter Turbo 2, I believe, is not on there. And I can't remember what the other one was. I think it was Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I think that also wasn't on there. You're going to have to check it out. No, sorry. Take that back. That was on there. Intelligent Cube wasn't. I'm sorry. Intelligent Cube wasn't on there. So there's only 4 games that's not on there out of the 16. And there's over 200 something games on the PSN library. Despite, yes, each game is about $5 to $10, where you could get this for about $20. If you add all of that up, let's just look at the system for a minute. Just think about the system for a minute. Okay. So, let's start at $100. You're looking at the HDMI, which HDMI, I'd say, is about $5. Okay, so now we're at $95. You can imagine each one of these PS1 games are probably about $2 a piece. That's $40 right there for 20 games. Okay, so that goes from $95 to $75. And then you're looking at the controllers. The controllers are probably about $5 a piece. So it goes from $75 to $65. You are pretty much paying $65 for the system only. To be honest with you, that is a bargain. That's a great deal. But you could still go out and get a PS3 and download them. Or even if you have discs. Like, I even still have some of my original PS1 games, like the original South Park. The one thing also is, I don't have a PS3. I used to own one. And I have over 40 PS1 games. So I really don't know if it's really worth it for me, but for you, it's up to you. Also, there's a lot of omissions. The Crash Bandicoot games, as well as the Spyro the Dragon, yes, it's been acquired by another company, and I understand that, so you can't really put that in the mix. Crash Team Racing, I don't know if it's been acquired by another company, because it's never been remade. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Yes, that's been acquired by another company by now, but that's also a mission by another. What else is not on there? Tomb Raider is not even on there. King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Samurai Showdown. They are missing so many great fighters on there. There's also some more RPGs they're missing. Alundra. More of the Wild Arms games. More of the Persona games. More of the Final Fantasy games. Even Parasite Eve that was released in North America, as well as Ark the Lad, is missing off the system. They are missing so many great games. Gran Turismo, NASCAR, Madden NFL, NHL, which I understand that because that's rights from then to now, so I understand that. It's also missing a lot of other great games like WWE, Bomberman, Harvest Moon. So it's missing a lot of great games. Of the Wipeout games, it's also missing Hot Shots Golf. It is missing a lot of games. Silent Hill is also another one. I'm sorry, I forgot to put that in there. Silent Hill. Viv Ribbon, one of the greatest fucking musical games ever. Literally, that game made what Guitar Hero was today. Tetris, they're missing. One of the great other games. Pac-Man Maze Madness. Pac-Man World. They are missing so many great classics. Gex 2, Enter the Gecko, Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko. They're missing so many great classics on this system. So many. That is what gets me, is they're missing so many classics. And I understand that for most of them. Because most of them have different trademarks and different licensing and copyright and things. I understand that. I'm not saying I don't. because I understand that. But some of them, Sony still has the rights to. Like Gran Turismo is one of them. They still have the rights to that game. In that game franchise. I don't understand why that they did not put that on this. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of Gran Turismo, because I'm not. And I'm not trying to nag about it. But it's just the fact it's being a Sony released product. That's what gets me. So, for that aspect, I really don't know if it's worth the $100. Just for me, I haven't even pre-ordered this system yet. I don't even know if I'm going to. Later on weeks, I might think about it. But there's just maybe out of the 20 games that I would play on this, there's maybe about 11 that I play. Battle Arena Toshinden, Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer, Resident Evil, Persona, Puzzle Fighter, Wild Arms, Destruction Derby. Actually, sorry, maybe about 12 games. Grand Theft Auto and Rayman. Those 8 other games I would not play. So, I don't know if it's really worth owning the system if you're not going to play every single game on the system. Also, not every game on this list is 2 players. I can tell you the 2-player games. Battle Arena Toshinden, Tekken, Ridge Racer, Puzzle Fighter, Destruction Derby. I believe Tom Clancy is, I'm not sure. And Twisted Metal. And maybe Cool Borders. I think that's it. But it's between 8 or 9 games that's multiplayer only. So, you really don't have a lot to choose from to what you will really play. Your selection is going to be limited because it says 20 games, of course. But it's limited for the amount of the quality of the games that you're getting. That is what the limited is. To be honest with you, I really couldn't tell you if you could pick one up or not. That's your decision. And I really don't care if you pick one up or not. You pick one up, good for you. If you don't, that's good too. To be honest with you, I would be better off picking up a PlayStation 3 because at least I know I'm getting Gran Turismo is not even on there, so I wouldn't worry about that. At least I know I'm be getting Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, as well as Silent Hill. So at least I know I'd be getting those cult classics on there that I would not be finding on this system. As well as at least I'm getting all the Final Fantasies. I'm getting Arc the Lad, Parasite Eve. I'm getting most of the shmups. I'm getting a lot of RPGs. I'm getting all the Twisted Metals, all the Cool Borders. I'm getting also Hot Shots Golf, Metal Gear Solid, all the Tekken games, King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat. I'm getting those games up on that. So, it's really your choice to what you do, or what you choose. Because I'm not going to tell you what you should do. The only thing I can tell you is give you advice on it. To be honest with you, I really couldn't tell you. But you're going up against 20 games that's classics on the system. I'm not saying they're not. They're not cult classics. There's only about a handful of them, maybe about 5 or 6 that are cult classics. Final Fantasy VII, Battle Arena Toshinden, Tekken, Resident Evil, sorry. Maybe 6 games. Oddworld's 8, Odyssey, Rayman, sorry, and one more, Twisted Metal. It's about 7 games then. About 7 games that are really cult classics. While you get over like the 250 some games for the PlayStation 3 of PS1 games, you have over hundreds of classics. Hundreds. So, to be honest with you, I really could not tell you which one you should pick up. That is your choice. But as far as I know, I really wouldn't be able to tell you. I wish I could. But if you're looking for more quantity of games, get the PlayStation 3. If you're just looking to pick something up cheap and you're on a budget this year, I'd say get the PS1 Classic. Thanks, guys.